FYI, it is much later. I put all of these books here earlier in the morning, and then they all collapsed, and I was just like, I'll just do that later today. And so now we're doing it. But I am showing you every single book that I have on my physical TBR that I have yet to read. So it's quite interesting. I did that last year, and I think I had like 80 books on my physical TBR, and I feel like this time around is going to be more than that. Hopefully not that much, but last year when I did it, it led to me putting myself in a book buying bin. I don't want to say after this I'm going to put myself in a book buying bin, because I feel like it's two different hobbies. Like, you read as a hobby, and then like you go shopping as another hobby. And I feel like if one day I'm having a very not so great day, I might go to Barnes and be like, let me just buy one book. But I don't know, maybe I should after that. But I am showing you every single book on my physical TBR. We're going to just rapid fire, and I'll tell you some of the books that I'm planning on reading this month, or some of them that I self-DNF, or if like there's one I will never pick up ever again. But let's go. The first one is Ready or Not. I actually started this. And then I think I made it to like maybe the second chapter, and something happened, and I have yet to pick this back up. But I know that I would want to continue it, because I know I was having a really, really fun time when I was reading it. This one I also started. I am in maybe the 5th chapter, I don't know, but I remember me reading this, I think last one or something, and then I was just like romance out. Like, I was romance out, and I was like, I don't think I'm enjoying this. But it's a great book. I know I want to finish it, but I was just romance out, and I couldn't read any romance books. So we have crossed the line, but I know I want to finish it. I will definitely read this again, because it's great, it's wonderful. I was the problem. Another spot romance, the rule book. I've heard wonderful things, and I didn't have time to read it in the summer. Behind the Net. Heard wonderful things. I'm excited to read it. It wasn't my summer TBR. Didn't have the time to read it, but it's here. I also have The Problem with Players by Brittany Cherry. This next one is actually a part of my October TBR, so I'm going to read it. By the time you see this, I'll probably already finish it. You never know. But we have The Surviving Trace, The Sweet Spot. I thought I was going to read this February of this year. I didn't. Actually forgot that I had this up until today, and I was like, oh my god, this is here. I feel like I might give it away, maybe my sister or something, or like a little library, or maybe donate it to my library, because I forgot that it was here until I pull it out, and I was like, oh my god, I have this. I have How to Survive Your Murder. I am 100% sure that I'm going to read this for the fall. These two books, I promised myself, like I swore I was like going to read it for the summer. I just never had the time to pick them up. I was never in the mood for them. So we have Off the Races by Elsie Silver, and we also have Swift and Seattle by Lila Sage. I actually thought I was going to pick this up because I just couldn't wait to read it, and I never did. But I feel like for the fall it's still going to be really good for me to read, or maybe January of next year or something. But we have them. We have Things We Had from the Light by Lucy Score. We also have Things We Left Behind. I have to read this. As you probably can tell, I started this. This is a sub-DNF. I started this in February. This book put me in the worst reading slump, and I just didn't want to pick it up. Like, I refused to pick this back up because I couldn't do it. But I want to do one of these videos where you're reading books you've DNF'd. I feel like it's going to be one of them, because I really have to read this in order for me to read this, because I'm quite excited for the couple that is in this one. So we have Things We Hide from the Light, and we have Things We Left Behind. Checkmate and Love on the Brain, both by 𝐼𝐤𝐤. I promise you, I bought this, I feel like the day it came out, because I loved her writing, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to read it. I've never been in the mood to pick it up. I've never. But I know I have to read it. I've heard wonderful things that I have to read it. But this one, I've had it for a very, very long time, and I have yet to pick it up. So much so one day I convinced myself that I read it. And then I was reading the back. I was like, no, I don't think this is the one that I read. But I have them. Before We Are Strangers, we've heard wonderful things. Cannot wait to read it. I've had this for a very, very long time. I don't know why I haven't picked it up, because I feel like everyone give this book a 5 or 6 stars. But it's here on my shelf, just collecting dust. Collide. One of the reasons I bought this, very, very stupidly, this was a very, I don't know why I do this to myself, but I saw a quote on TikTok. It was from this book, and I bought it. I have not picked it up. I forgot the quote actually, but it's here. I've patterned my friend sheet. I'm saving these 2 books for, if you're new here, I do this little series on my channel where I read unpopular or underrated small author, indie author every month. Well, not every month. I didn't do it last month, but I do that. And I read like I said, indie author, small author. So I'm saving these 2 books for that, and that is, it started with the list in the last minute First Lady. Started the Brutal Birthright series on Kindle. I didn't know they have them on Kindle, but I started that, and I am, I think, like, I am on the 3rd book. One of the things that I love about this book is because they have, like, hold on, look at this, look at this. Listen, whenever I publish my book, I have to do this. I love it, I adore it. This is so pretty. I think I've seen more books with like illustration in them, but I feel like this was the first book I saw and I was like, perfect. But Bloody Heart by Sophie Lark. I have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes also on my October TBR, so I will read this. I love Stephanie Gabbard. I truly do. We have the last 2 ones of the Caraval series, Legendary and Finally. Do we say final? Finally? I feel like I've heard finally, but is it final? I don't know. Well, I have them by Stephanie Gabbard. I love her. I adore her writing. So I'm quite shocked that I haven't read these 2. I just love her writing. She wrote one of my favorite series of last year, which was Once About a Broken Heart. Jack, you know, Prince of Heart. I have Would You Rather by Stephanie Alvis. Love You Till the End by Lauren Lacey. This is the last book in one of my favorite series right now. It's called Love in Beverly Mills. I read the 1st book. I'm currently reading the 2nd on Kindle, and right after the 2nd, I'm going to pick this up, and I know I'm going to love it. But she's a small author, indie author. Check her out. She's wonderful, wonderful. I don't know if I'm going to read this ever again. I started it. I started this, and I think I made it to like page 60, and I was like, I enjoyed it. And then I started like watching the show, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't love it. It was too slow for me. I didn't enjoy it. But it's one of these books that I'm like, I feel like I have to at least read, even if I hate it or something. I don't know. It's one of these books that I feel like I have to read as a reader. So I'm like, should I give it away or keep it? We're gonna keep it for now. I have The Housemate Is Watching. This is the last book out of this series, and I'm not excited to read this book because I've heard mixed reviews, but I am excited to finish Millie's story. I have Meet Your Match, One Dark Window, Heaven Breaker, The Blood Child. I actually made it to like chapter 3 in this, and the reason why I haven't like picked it back up to read is because the first chapter was so long. I thought I was in chapter 3 while I was still reading chapter 1, and I was like, oh my god. Like when I turned the page, it's just chapter 2. I was like, oh my god, this was not chapter 2. But I feel like I have to read it. I think it's going to be wonderful. I've heard good things. I have to read it. But the first chapter was so long that I feel like every other chapter is going to be just like that, and I don't know if I have the brain capacity to do that right now. I have the Cruel Prince trilogy, The Cruel Prince, The Queen of Nothing, The Wicked King. I have 2 dark romances, that is Haunted Adeline and the Mind F series. 3 by the same author, Mariana Zapata, The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, From Lukov with Love. Look, I'm pretty sure this is Irish. Not Irish, Russian? From Lukov, look up. From Luke with Love by Mariana Zapata. We also have a rose listed here. The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The Prison Healer. This is the thing. I bought this, excited to read it. I go on TikTok. I search up reviews, and one bad review, and now this book is like the last book that I want to read. The last book that I want to read. From all the positive reviews that I've heard about it, one girl says this was the worst book I've ever read in my life, and I was like, well, there goes that. There goes that. Even though I've heard 100 positive reviews, I just can't help but think about her review, and I'm like, what if this same thing happens to me? I have A Crown of Aconite. I follow this author. She's a small author. Follow her on TikTok, follow her on Instagram, and then she published this book, so I bought it. I have Killjoy. This is a novella, a good girl guide to murder novella. I have to read it one day. This will not take me that long. I should have been read this. Half or So, Legends and Lattes, Dating Dr. Dill, Ignite Me. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna read this last book out of this series, and I'm not going to continue it because I feel like I'm not as interested as I was when I first began Shadow Me. Like I feel like I'm going to read this and I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna be it. But Ignite Me. If only I had told her. I'm scared to read this because I feel like it's going to make me cry, just like the first one of this series made me cry. I've had this since last year. I picked it up multiple times and be like, this is the month I'm going to read tomorrow. It's never the month, but I have it. It's still here. One day I will, for sure. I will read it. The Way I Am Now, which is the secret of the way I used to be. Again, I feel like it's going to tear my soul apart. I just don't want to cry yet. I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I think this is a hard DNF for me. I wasn't enjoying it. I started this for a reading vlog and I just haven't picked this up because I wasn't having the greatest time. So I think it's going to be hard DNF. I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard DNF. I don't think I'm going to pick it up ever again. A Court of Wings in Ruin, A Court of Silver Flames. We have The Assassin Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Queen of Shadow, Heart of Fire, Empire of Stones, Kingdom of Ash. I have Iron Flame, Powerful, Throne of the Fallen, which I also self-DNF. I think I made it to part 2 and I self-DNF it. But I will read it in the video I just told you is coming, like when I'm reading books I DNF'd. We have Throne of the Fallen. Powerless also on my DNF. I DNF'd this in like chapter 25 or something. I have Assistance to the Villain, Daydream by Hannah Grace, Biden 13, which I also DNF, self-DNF, and I will be reading it in that one video. I have Team Player by Deanna Gray, I have The Night She Disappeared, and The Woman in the Window. These 2 books, I'm still shocked that I have not read them. I've heard wonderful things. I just can't read them now. But we have Longshot by Kennedy Ryan and Hookshot by Kennedy Ryan. Both of them, wonderful cover. I love this cover. But Longshot, Hookshot by Kennedy Ryan. I have Sword Hard. I have A Court of Frost and Starlight. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It's all, I'm just rapid fire all of them. I'm like, but Next Door Nemesis. Better Than Fiction, both of them by Alexa Martin. The very famous book that I feel like everyone has read but me, Harry Potter, that I will read this fall. I promised myself I was going to read it last fall. It didn't happen, but I will definitely this fall. This next one, I actually thought I was going to read it in the summer, but I didn't have the time. But it's here. This is a small author. I don't hear like a lot of people talk about her, but this is called For Vacation Only. I have Addicted to You. I don't know if I'm going to read this because I feel like if I read this, then I have to keep going. But that series, like 11 books, I don't know if I will finish it. I don't know, but I have it here for now. I have this cutesy one. It's called For Eads and a Funeral. This next one, it's very, very highly in my TBR. This is Without Fault. Quite excited to read it. I really am excited to read it. But Without Fault, I have Out on a Limb. The Good Part, I'm saving this for like Christmas time because I think our FMC, she like made a witch and like she woke up and it was like 5-something years in the future. And I feel like anything that has to do with magical type of thing, I tend to read it in the most magical time of the year, Christmas. So I feel like I have to save this for Christmas. And by Jessa Hastine, I have 4 books by her that I have yet to read. But we have Never, Magdala Park, Into the Dark. I have The Great Undoing, Daisy Hate, and we have The Long Way Home, Magnolia Parks. In 5 years, The Inmates by Frida McFadden. I have Twisted Lies. Cannot believe that I have DNF this book. Look at this, chapter 30. Did I finish it? No, but I'm in chapter 30 in Twisted Lies. Ruthless Vow, One for My Enemy, The Sweetest Oblivion. I have Practice Makes Perfect, and these 2 books by Evelyn Solar. The only reason why I haven't read these is because I know she writes like really heavy, spicy books, and I just haven't been in the mood to read spicy books at the moment. But Take Over and Take Down, both of them by Evelyn Solar. This one I'm actually reading for October, and that is Morbidly Yours. I'm really excited to read it. I feel like I have to read it during like spooky time because I think one of them walks in a graveyard or something. I don't know. I have to read it this October. One Last Shot, Foxglove, The Love of My Afterlife, which I'm currently reading. I'm going to start it tonight. So by the time you see this, -1. I have The Fifth Season, 6 Crushed Roses, I have Fly Away, A Blade So Black, and I have The Ashes in the Star Cursed King, which I'm quite excited to read because the first one made me cry, so I know this is going to be wonderful. But yeah, I feel like this was a very chaotic video. I don't know if I'll post this but I feel like I was just like rapid fire. I was throwing every single one of them apart. But like, these are all the books that I have on my physical TBR, and the total is this amount. I don't know, I was not counting, I was just throwing them, but that is the total. And yeah, that was fun, chaotic but fun. I'll see you guys next time. Stay blessed, God bless you. Let me know how many books you have on your like physical TBR. I actually would love to know. But God bless you, stay blessed, be nice, and I'll see you next time. Bye.